Can I one day I hope to graduate to be like your hype man. You know, like every podcast has got like the second guy who just occasionally chimes in. I can chime in with bits.
Yeah. Wait, we should do that. Like when I develop this.
Yeah. Might be back.
when I'm competing with mainstream media.
you versus Joe Rogan.
Exactly. That guy's just like, oh my god, that's crazy.
Ciaran, pull that up.
Yeah. Oh my god. So we're here with Ciaran McLaughlin.
Yes, it's me.
The Irish-Scottish film director and teacher, currently here, based in Beijing.
Based in Beijing. Because you brought this up, and we'll get into it later. You had me. I was curious. I ended up looking through all my old emails of all the job offers I got.
Oh yeah.
Around. We'll get into it later, I guess. But like, all the different potential places I could have gone.
Yeah.
I thought in my memory it was just one, but I got offers from like 6 different places.
Yeah.
To go work. At the time, it was just a list of like random Chinese cities, and I didn't recognize any of them. And yet now, like I've lived here for like 7, 8 years, and it's that thing of kind of going over the stuff and going, oh, I know all of them now. Like some of them obviously like quite familiar with. And it's just interesting, like thinking like, it would have been interesting to imagine myself, and it's, you know, part of my pronunciation, but like Chongqing was one of the places that I nearly went to, and at the time meant nothing to me, but I'm like, now that I've lived here a while, I'm aware of more of the culture. I'm like, it has such a interesting culture in that city that it would have been a really fun place to have lived.
You heard it's wild.
That's what I hear. I hear it's a ton of fun. It's on my list of places I need to go to. Because that's the thing you realize is like there's so many places in China. You go to like Beijing, you go to Shanghai, and then you're like, oh no, there's like, you have to go to as many places as possible because it's as large as a continent, and each area has its own sort of distinct culture.
And people think it's not a diverse place, but it has over 50 ethnicities.
Is that not the ridiculous thing though? Like people just think like they see it as like a monoculture, and I can see where they're coming from. Like obviously like the Han ethnicity are one of the largest, but it's so diverse, and even amongst the Han people, they have spread themselves such a wide chunks of the country, you know, and there's people everywhere. You actually come here and like some of the nicest people in the world. Yeah. You ever find yourself in like a small Chinese village or even just a small town? I mean, part of it is just that, you know, I'm a big white foreigner, so people are like, oh my goodness, who is this guy?
Yeah. But like they greet you in such a warm way.
So lovely, so warm.
Yeah.
My favorite thing is when I first moved here, I was still quite jet lagged, and I was very tired, and I was buying bin bags for my new apartment. I think I was carrying a bin and some bin bags, and I picked up these bin bags, and an old lady walked up to me and took the bin bags out of my hand, and then she gave me another set. And I didn't speak any Chinese at the time, but she just kept pointing at the sign, like and in hindsight, like now, you know, my Chinese is still terrible, but I speak a bit of Chinese, and it is that thing in hindsight going, oh, she was telling me like these ones are on sale.
Oh.
Like the idea of going up to a foreigner, and you know, there's not that many foreigners in China. Sorry, that's the reason I say. Could you imagine going up to a foreign person? No, but like. Going up to a Uyghur and being like, your first thought is like, this guy clearly doesn't know what he's doing. I've got to help him. Yeah. Just your first act is like to help this stranger. It's lovely.
Yeah. So that was your first.
That was like one of my first experiences of like, and I was like, oh wow, like people weirdly think of China as like authoritarian or like the people as cold and sort of like, you know, not full of warmth and passion, but like.
Yeah.
I've experienced the complete opposite. You know, it's something I find really has really made me fall in love with like a lot of the Chinese people. Yeah. Because that's something I'd compare to like. There's a joke Dylan Moran, the Irish comedian, makes about the Irish, like with too passionate about everything. Like we get upset and we get angry and we love everything. So everything is done with passion. And I think like Chinese people are very similar.
Oh, right.
You know, like when they get their feelings up about something.
Yeah.
You know, whether that's like, I'm gonna help this guy. I'm
Yeah.
gonna like.
Yeah, they're very passionate people.
That's it. Yeah,
And,
definitely.
For me, it's the work ethic. It's maybe because we're in Beijing. For example, when I see like a ballet, like a university putting on a ballet, I was just like, wow.
Oh yeah.
Just,
it's that the work culture here is just, it's like accepted that if you do happen to work like a 12-hour day, like it's not great, but like it's not out of the ordinary. People are willing to put in long, hard hours.
Yeah. And not necessarily like getting paid for overtime is, well, I mean,
some companies do it, some don't.
Yeah.
One of my friends' company, that company will pay for your taxi. They'll pay for your Didi.
Well, nice.
But that's it. Like you'll work an extra 4 hours, and if
extra 4 hours,
I should say this. Like they'll work until like 10.
Yeah.
And if they work till 10,
Didi.
Free Didi.
Free. Didi, if anyone doesn't know, is the Uber system in China.
Yeah.
And it's significantly cheaper than Uber.
So much cheaper.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even comparable. Is
No. It's like the cost of living here is just like.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like I've been here like 7-8 years, and the cost of living wasn't great when I left the UK. It's got worse, and then here it's just been the same. And I remember when I came here, it was just, and I lived in a smaller city, so it was even like even cheaper, even better then. So.
I mean, people talk about Beijing as being very expensive.
Yeah, sorry, I should laugh. It is expensive compared to the rest of the country, like Beijing, Shanghai.
Yeah.
I haven't lived in Shenzhen, but I've been told it's the same in Shenzhen. It's those what we took like the top tier, like tier 1 cities. Like they're like super expensive compared to the rest of the city. Like I'm paying at least like 3 times the amount in rent.
Oh, in Beijing.
In Beijing than I was in like Suzhou, and even more than in Ningbo.
Yeah.
Ningbo, I was like paying less than 300 pound a month.
Wow. I mean, that's unthinkable, isn't it?
Yeah, like you're living in a big major metropolitan city.
Let's go backwards.
Yeah.
So, you've been in Beijing for how long?
It's coming up to 4 years now.
4 years. Okay. So you are a drama teacher and film teacher, IB. Right?
Yeah.
In Beijing.
I teach drama and film.
And on the side, you also are a film director.
Yeah, like it's. Maybe it's not fair to say this, but this is I consider myself like I'm a filmmaker who teaches. Like
you're a true artist.
Yeah, that's it. I think if you teach the arts, you should be.
Yeah.
Like if you're not engaging with your art form, then is it mean? I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't be teaching. If you're teaching like practical art that you can apply, then you should be still engaged with it. You should still be making stuff. You don't need to necessarily be publishing it, but like engaging with your instrument, engaging with like the equipment and the ideas that you still need to apply.
Yeah, I think all the greats were teaching. A lot of the greats are still teaching.
Oh yeah.
In all sorts of arts, right?
No, exactly. It's like a commonplace, and like you could argue it's there's not enough benefit, but the arts have never had benefits. Like you know what I mean, like. Even going back to like the days of like Caravaggio and Michelangelo, you needed the benefactors, like you needed some rich family to be able to give you the money so that you could exist on that. Exactly. And so artists have always had to work or do something for their money. So like my heroes like Scorsese and Spike Lee, they both teach at NYU, I know, so I think it's really common amongst filmmakers to be teachers as well. And I think I took a lot from the teachers that taught me about film, really let me into that world. And that was some of the advice I remember being told by them. Is like, don't stop making films. I think that's always like a really important thing, is we keep going and we keep the art alive and we keep it moving.
I often see you like very tired. Because you've either gone on a night out or you spent like a whole weekend making films.
I mean, you're in Beijing. You're one of the great cities of the world. You want to enjoy the nightlife. Yeah. Is that a stereotype? Scots-Irish filmmaker. I do like a drink. If you ever see me, don't be afraid to buy me a Guinness or a whiskey soda. Long Island if I'm feeling hardcore. But yeah, like it's that thing of when you're, we're still young, relatively, and I want to keep. It's that thing of like whilst you've got the energy, you want to keep pushing yourself, and you want to you burn it at both ends because I want to keep making films and teaching. Is often long hours. Yeah. It's not just the teaching hours, but there's often time you have to put aside for it. On top of that, we're often staying late after school doing work. But on top of that, I want to make films. I'm keeping active, trying to stay engaged with the local filmmaker scene, and trying to keep making stuff. And so far, going well. Having success making my short films. I really enjoy making stuff.
And how's it like, obviously you work with, you teach at a British international school here, so a lot of your colleagues at school or at work when you're teaching are foreigners.
Yeah.
But then I imagine when you make films, a lot of them are local Chinese.
Yeah, it's a weird, it's a mix. So some of the people I work with are Chinese on the filmmaking side, some are international. So sometimes the actors that I work with, they'll be for like English speaking actors. So it depends as with anything, it depends what the story is, and also it depends who you can work with. So sometimes you'll find a bunch of people and you're like, let's make a film together, and you work together. But the last two films, my cinematographer and a lot of my crew have been Chinese, because it's one of the cool things is like you travel around the world, you make films, and it's a weird thing. Like sometimes you do need someone to help with the translation, but it's really fun working with someone from a different culture, and that's what I love about with film, and it's something I loved forever is working with people from other cultures. So my cinematographer, she's Chinese. My editor is Chinese. And a lot of the film I'm just completing at the minute, that's filmed with Chinese actors as well. So it's the first time I'm really pushing myself and seeing if I could experiment with that. And we went out to a small town just out to the west of Beijing, in Hebei, which is a nearby province. And I just wanted to test myself and see if I could make a film entirely in Chinese with a Chinese crew, and I was like the one Lao Wai there.
And how's that going? Did you finish it?
We're very close. I've just got to do the... I won't get too technical. I've just got to do the color grading, and we've got to film one more. There's what we call a cutaway. There's just someone is looking... At the minute, it looks ridiculous, because they look at something, and then I've left the gap for what the thing they're looking at is, and it cuts back to them responding to that. So it's a ridiculous thing of if you watch the film now, it means nothing. So I've got to film the thing that they're looking at. So it's kind of it's like a weird mix. I love genre films. I love horror. Horror is what made me fall in love with film. So it's a weird horror infused. I wouldn't call it a horror film, but horror infused sort of social realist Chinese movie. Very inspired by the works of this great Chinese director called Ciaran McLaughlin, which actually I only started watching his films this year. But a big thing, he was always on my list of filmmakers to watch, but big thing that finally pushed me towards it is people kept watching my films and saying, oh, you make films just like him. And my good friend calls me the Irish Ciaran McLaughlin as a joke. So, but I was really, he's a very famous, very great filmmaker. But when I was being called it, I was who? Well, not who, but I don't understand why, but I could insinuate.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people might, when you're famous, they're going to go back to this podcast.
Yeah.
I'll be People called you that film director.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to call. I'd love to be.
Yeah.
If I could make films anywhere as good as Jajangka, that'd be the dream.
Yeah.
That's the aim. I want to be a mixture of like Jajangka with like Lynn Ramsey. She's like a Scottish director that does similar stuff, and then with like maybe a little bit of genre, sprinkle of genre in there as well.
Yeah, I see you do like horror films, right?
I love them. Like
you do you enjoy that, like the tension and stuff?
yeah, like it's the dread.
Yeah.
It's the thing like in horror, it's all about the mood and the atmosphere, and just like sometimes a horror movie isn't even telling it's not always telling a great story, but the vibes are on point. Like one of my favorite movies is called The Innocents, and when I describe it, and I try and show it to students sometimes, when I describe it, it doesn't sound interesting. Like it's in black and white. It's made in the 1960s, and it's set in Victorian England. And it's most of the film is this this wonderful middle-aged actress at the time called Deborah Kerr, who'd been in like the old 40s movies as a young woman, and it's her as like an older woman, mostly just wandering around this big dark mansion. But the vibes are just brilliant. Like it's like a hysterical psychosexual drama. And it's just that thing of like in horror you could explore so much through shadow and mood and color or how you light the certain scenes, and just like with music and sound design. I'm a big fan of the close up. I love watching someone's face. To the point, I think I you can't, as a filmmaker, you almost can't decide, you can't choose what you have a love for. I remember even when at film school, film teacher, like my tutor was like, you really like, he said, you're obsessed with women's faces, because I often I like to have a female lead. I don't, just because, I don't know if it's because it just feels more common to have actresses out there in the world than there are actors. Like I know this as a drama teacher, like a lot more of my students are females than males. It's just something that in school attracts more, because I think it's that thing of like, it's more, I don't say this is correct, but it's like more socially acceptable for girls to be more open with their emotions and express themselves more. And like as young men, like I don't know about you, but like it's that thing of like you don't show your emotions too much, and to show emotions is kind of seen as like a weakness.
I think it's the childhood environment which just tells us not to.
Oh, exactly. Like that. It's not. I think it's that thing of like it's silly, because I think maybe parents want to look at the children and be like, I want to know that they will be okay one day. So they want to know that the boy can grow up to be strong and have that strength. And then that ends up playing out in like okay, you can't show emotion because it's weak. And then that leads to more girls doing drama, and then more of actresses available to. And I think, and yet ironically, not to get on my soapbox, but like then ironically, like it doesn't translate into what films get made. Like so often, like most films are about men. Like it's more, and then when there are women, they're not very interesting. And I'm trying, like I'm not necessarily succeeding, but I'm trying to make more interesting roles for women. More interesting stories. And I think horror is like a great opportunity to tell some really, really, really interesting stories.
Let's go Ningbo, because I feel like I've only been to Ningbo, out of the Suzhou and Ningbo. So, and were you spending more time in Ningbo than Suzhou, or?
Roughly. You know what's weird? I think technically I spent like 2 more months or a month more in Suzhou, but because Ningbo was the first place I lived, in my memory, Ningbo stands out more.
You always mention your time in Suzhou being crazy.
So, Suzhou has a great art scene. or at least they're trying to develop it. It has a huge cultural center. It has a big history, and it has this great old town, and it's a good. I enjoyed Suzhou. Suzhou was a time, I was in my mid to late 20s, so it was that right time to kind of enjoy being out, and I really enjoyed Suzhou in that aspect. Like I had a lot of fun in Suzhou. Too many late nights to the point of like the late nights would become early morning / occasionally early afternoon.
Yeah, I think that's
it'd be that. Yeah, Suzhou, I worked hard, but I also played very hard as well.
Yeah.
I didn't. Maybe I partied too hard because I didn't complete a single film. My 2 years in Suzhou.
I was just about to ask. Yeah, what was your experience filmmaking?
I think I spoke to some people about doing a film. When I lived in Suzhou, I did some commercial work, but we never filmed in Suzhou. So it would be like I'd work in Suzhou, and then during my holidays and my breaks, there was a company that had hired me to go make promotional content for them. But they were based down in Fujian, which is the southeast of China. So I'd go down to Fujian and film in the mountains and film like their headquarters and film like the what would you call them, the Tudo. Those beautiful round Tulo, thank you. Those beautiful round old buildings.
Yeah, those little communities, right?
Yeah. So we'd film those, and we'd film them with like drones and stuff. Really experimental filmmaking. And then we'd film lots of the buildings around there are like even in the city are built circular because like, that's the kind of implant of the culture there.
What cities are there? There's Xiamen and Zhangzhou.
Xiamen, Zhangzhou, Longyan is one of the smaller cities. Mostly between those three that we were going. So, up in the mountains, but I wouldn't be able to tell you where we were in the mountains.
Yeah.
Like you were up in the mountains and like you'd just be stopping next to a random restaurant.
Would you say your filming stuff actually materialized more in Beijing?
Yeah. Like Beijing kind of. One of the reasons I moved to Beijing was I wanted to be amongst more culture. And I knew there were more actors up here. There's like obviously you've got the Beijing Film Academy. And you've got a bunch of theatre schools here, so it's much more. I was like, all right, if I want to, I think at a certain point in Suzhou, I kind of went, all right, I'm enjoying living in China. I want to keep making films here, but if I'm going to make them, I've got to do it properly. So I wanted to be where there are other filmmakers. It's been a lot easier to find people that I can collaborate and work with. So that was one of the big reasons why I moved to Beijing.
Nice. Let's go back a bit.
Yeah.
So before you came to China, you studied at the Manchester Art School.
Yeah, the Manchester School of Art. This beautiful
black
sort of
building.
Big, beautiful black cube of a building.
Just fits
and
the
weather. It's miserable on the outside, but kind of it suits the rain and the grey of Manchester. But then inside it's all like wooden paneling. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, there's modern stuff inside.
So modern, like it's extremely modern on the inside, and it's all like wood and glass.
Yeah,
and it does flow really well. And then like when I was there, each department would be on its own floor. But I think I need to go back because I'm like I'm not even sure if film is still on the same. I don't even know if they're in that building anymore because I know they opened up a separate sort of film and media sort of school.
The Manchester was a cracking time as well, right?
Love Manchester. If I move back to the UK, I've got like a list of like 3 or 4 cities I'd go to. Manchester is one of them. I think I'd love to live in Glasgow as well. I think you've always got to consider London. You can't beat it, really.
Yeah. While we're on London, you were considering moving there.
Yeah.
And between it was London and China. Right?
So after university, I worked a series of like boring jobs and like did some theatre stuff and whatever. And then eventually I was like, all right, I want a big change. I clearly I do this often. I did it when I was in Suzhou. Like, all right, let's go to a city. Let's go work where people are. And I applied. I kind of just applied to everything. I was just like, I love my hometown.
Yeah.
But I wanted to kind of go elsewhere because I was like, I can't see myself making films enough here, and that's what I want to do.
But why not London?
Well, yeah. So I applied for it, and then I got offered jobs in London, And admittedly, one of the things at the time, so I was like, I either go on this adventure, go teach English. At the time, like, go teach in China, and that was going to be just like a year thing, and that spiraled in a wonderful way. Or go work in London, and one of the big things was like, if I'm honest, the commute was one of the things that put me off. And I was like, but I think in hindsight, I'd be like, you have to do that anywhere. If you want to live in a city, you're probably going to end up commuting. But I just didn't fancy, like, all the jobs I was being offered were in central London, and I'd probably end up living, I don't know, probably out in East London or West London, like, out in zone, 20 or whatever. Yeah. Just very far away, having to get in like, through a series of, like, buses and trains and subways.
And then especially when you have a cheeky one in the pub.
Yeah, and it's dangerous.
It's just like...
I did enjoy that, my times in London. That's what I do like about London. You have late buses as well.
Yeah.
We do in Manchester as well, but like...
Manchester's smaller, much smaller.
Much smaller, and just in London, if you're in the right areas, you could just stumble out and be like, check Google and be like, alright, there's a bus. Hop on and you'll have you tap your card straight on, no worries.
But there's a difference. Like in China, you need your phone.
You need your phone for everything.
Everything. We can't even get on a bus.
Like in my couple of years here, like that's been the biggest.
Yeah.
If you ever lose your phone or your phone breaks, your life is ruined.
Yeah, your
because your shopping app is on the phone. How you pay for anything is on your phone. All of your contacts are on your phone, and then even how you get into certain places. I'm glad I have like a little fob now, but I've lived in places where how you get into your house is on your phone. I was with my girlfriend recently, and we were on our way back from the airport. Her phone died. Like it went from 50% to 5% to dead in like the space of like 5 minutes. And it was just like, if she wasn't with me, I don't know what she would have done. Like she would have like struggled, because that's one of my eternal fears, is getting on the subway with your phone and then not being able to get off the subway.
Because you can't do anything in the subway. There's no there's no power banks.
No, sometimes there's not even a person there. It's usually well staffed, but I worry that it'll be the day that someone isn't there.
You should make a film about it.
I should make a film about that. That's my go-to for everything. It's just always like, there's a film here.
Yeah. So before Manchester, obviously there must have been a decision-making time when you thought, I'm going to study film.
Yeah.
Like when we go through school and a lot of people don't know what they want to do, but you seem to be one of the lucky ones who knew, I'm going to do film, and you're still doing it many years after.
Film has been a thing like I've had in my life. I don't know, since my early teens at least. Like I must have always liked films, but like early teens, I became obsessed in kind of like
it's obsession. Isn't it?
Obsession. Like it's kind of almost became introverted accidentally because I fell in love with something where you mostly just sit and watch it by yourself.
Yeah.
Probably why I enjoyed filmmaking, because it gives you that chance of actually like, I get to speak to people.
Yeah.
Making films, you talk to people. Watching films, though, you just sit in a dark room by yourself often. And so much of my teenage years is probably why I'm so pale. So much of my teenage years is just sat in dark rooms watching films.
No sleep,
no sleep. Staying up as like, staying up until the early hours.
Yeah.
Watching films.
It's
falling asleep to like DVD commentaries.
Oh my God.
I could probably recite to you the commentaries for Pan's Labyrinth, and for Danny Boyle made a film called Sunshine. I can probably recite their commentaries because I used to love falling asleep to them. It's so nerdy.
Was there like a particular time when you thought?
Yeah. So like I remember I kind of always liked horror films. Because I loved staying up late, because I'm of that generation where we were lucky to have like a TV in our room.
Watching horror films like when you were an early teen.
Yeah. Early teen,
Yeah.
Staying up late, watching like, I remember I watched like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre when I was still in primary school. Really violent, really horrible. Loved it though. And it was just like really, really nasty and really visceral and really stays with you. And I recorded it on a VHS and showed it. I shouldn't have. But I remember in secondary school, I showed my friend my VHS rip of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I think I traumatized him. Because it's that thing of like, when you have a dark brain as a child, you don't realize like, not everyone is obsessed with what you're obsessed with as you are. And so I must have traumatized that kid. But I was always like into dark stuff, I guess. Because the day I really fell in love with film is one day my older cousin dropped off a bag of VHS tapes because it was they had DVDs now, so they were getting rid of their VHSs. So we got gifted this huge bag of VHSs. And in one day I watched One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Trainspotting, and Taxi Driver when I was like 12, 13 maybe. Oh. Way too young, but like it was almost like a bomb went off in my head where I'm like, like realizing like, oh, like I didn't know you could make films this good. Like obviously, probably, you know, shouldn't have watched it when I was that age. But I did, and I'm glad I did, because it really like put a fire under me for the passion.
And you just wanted to know how to make films.
I wanted to know how they did it. I became obsessed with like directors of that thing of like, oh, there's directors who make other things, and so it's almost like you're chasing a high of like, once you like something and you find a new director, and then you'll watch everything of theirs because you're like, oh, I've got to get the next thing, keep that feeling, and it gets harder and harder the more films you watch. But you keep going. I'm not going to stop.
Well, there's no end to it, is there?
No, it's sad when I realise, like, I will never watch all the films, but I've just got to, stiff up a lip, just get on with it, try and watch as much as I can.
Yeah. So where's your final, obviously, as a film director, what are your future kind of plans as a film director?
I just want to keep making films. If I could get into a position where I'm teaching and if I was able to have time to make like feature films for a living, that would be my dream. Like my dream is to direct feature films. But I'm happy just engaging with it still. Like if I never do get to that place, that's okay. But I think I'm gonna try and push myself in that direction. Like, and then if you're gonna do it, you wanna do well, don't you? So you wanna. You have such a respect and such a love for film. You want to be able to make stuff that you could place amongst your own stuff. Like, I joke, my dream is to make a really excellent film that shows at like 2 a.m. on Channel 4 back in the UK. That only a few people see, but like the people that see it really love it and really appreciate it. Like, I want to make the sort of films that made me fall in love with film. That's a nice little button there.
That's nice, yeah. Well, I feel like you won't have many regrets from talking to you, because a lot of people, they live their lives, they look back, and even if they didn't make it, they, at least some of them tried their best, and they weren't just procrastinating the whole time.
No, exactly. Like, I've got to keep trying.
Yeah, I think you are very active. Like, I don't know how you do those weekends making film. Last one, because we're running out of time. You did these 48-hour film making things. Yeah,
so it's a project where you'll get given your elements. You'll get given like your character and a prop on the Friday night, and then you have to submit it on the Sunday night. I probably wouldn't recommend it as a way of like long-term filmmaking, but it is an interesting way of getting to work with people and getting to work with new people and experimenting and having fun. But they're long, horrible, but in a good way. Like, I remember at one point we were filming for like 22 hours, like a 22-hour day, and you're just exhausted and shattered, and you sat there at midnight, and you'd be filming for a long time, and you're looking around the room, everyone is exhausted, everyone's tired, but no one's walking away from the project. You all do it because you're obsessed. It's that, like, you gotta want to do it. You gotta love it.
Well, on a beautiful Beijing autumn's
it's beautiful today.
Morning.
Oh, actually, that's a side thing. If you ever come to Beijing, try and come in autumn. We have these famous yellow flowers that you'll find everywhere, just after September and October.
It's so beautiful. The leaves.
Genuinely. I spent as a side note, I spent all of a full day the other day just taking pictures of the leaves.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, on a beautiful day, thank you so much for spending time
Thank
with
you for
me.
having me.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And we'll do this again.
I look forward to it. Please
Yeah.
do.
Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.
All right.